Hello, it is time for another book recommendation by me, Melissa Carter. My blog is You Only Have Your Shelf to Blame. And what I'm going to do here is I want to specifically talk to the women who are watching, and I'm just going to show the author of the book, and I want to see your reaction, okay? Yay! Aww, right? Women of a certain age. Judy Blume's name brings out this emotion of comfort, of gratefulness. Like she helped generations of girls, especially baby boomers and Gen Xers.
Everything. He likes it.
To feel better about their body. So this is actually the new cover for Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Now, when I read this book in elementary school, the cover was quite different. I mean, I'm sure you had, was it the girl? It was like this very 1970s looking girl on the cover. This was published in 1970, and it is one of my favorite all-time books. Now, the reason that I am talking about this book, I also have this shirt on. Vintage 1970, because my birthday is this week. Oh! And the story behind this book and why I'm talking about it specifically on my birthday week is because last year on my birthday, I was in Key West, Florida. And the pandemic was a conversation, but in the South, it was not, I don't know, not that it wasn't taken seriously, but it was almost like, oh, well, let's see how it goes if it gets here, that kind of thing. So I took a trip this time last year to Key West, Florida. I got on a plane, went to Key West, and when I got back home and got back from the airport, I've been home ever since. That's when the lockdown happened. Anyway, so my birthday's on the 11th, but with Judy Blume, she has a bookstore in Key West, Florida called Books and Books. And I knew this, and so one of the things I told my friends in Florida was, we have got to go to Judy Blume's bookstore on the off chance that she might be there. I had read that she doesn't spend all her time in Key West, so I thought maybe she'll be there, maybe she won't. I really honestly in my heart thought she's not going to be there. We got to the bookstore, we walked around. One of our friends, thank goodness he had such an eagle eye, he never read Judy Blume. He learned about Judy Blume from us, the women on the trip, but he said there's somebody in this employee lounge. Like he looked over and saw an older woman in the employee lounge, and he's like, I think, is that her? Pulled me aside. I literally started crying, like teared up. Went and told, it was one of those kind of things. Looked over there, and sure enough, it was Judy Blume in the employee lounge. And so we were like, we went to the employees like, is there any way that we can talk to Judy Blume? Is there any way? Now, I will say, Judy took this pandemic very seriously, and she knew that she was at the highest risk, being an older woman. And so she's like, I will be happy to talk with these people, but they have to stay 6 feet away from me. That is the first time I had encountered anybody who that enforced the 6 foot rule, because the pandemic, again, at that point was just so new, such a new conversation for so many people. Anyway, she checked us out. She helped check us out. So that gave us 6 feet. And I immediately was like, I got to get, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. And so not only did she check us out, but happy birthday, Melissa. I mean, it makes me well up just looking at this. But the other thing that she put in here was, you and Margaret are the same age. And she was so excited to tell me that when we were talking. She's so proud of the fact that, again, this book was released in 1970. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. So that's my book recommendation for this week, because the movie is also coming out. It's being filmed beginning next month. So there is an Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret movie. I hope it translates, because if you've never read this book, I mean, you may get something nostalgic out of it now, but especially if you have daughters and even sons, there's no reason a son can't read this. But I think the girls are the ones that will relate to this, because it is about young Margaret, who is going through changes in her preteen years. And there's some things that she's not comfortable telling her friends or her parents, and so she talks to God. It's not a religious book. It's just a sweet book about a girl who, when she doesn't feel like she has anybody to turn to, she talks to God. And so, again, are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. And look at the text. Like, how modern is that, right? Like God's about to respond. But it's mainly about her wanting to get her period. And we just don't have those conversations about menstruation in normal tones.
Not approved by me.
And we don't have conversations about menopause in normal tones. So I'm not sure why women's cycles and ovaries are such a taboo thing. This book helped me so much through the anxiety of approaching the time of my period. And for so many girls, it did the same thing. So Judy Blume is a goddess to a certain group of women. And I got to tell you, meeting celebrities sometimes is a hairy thing, because if they don't live up to your standard or they're not nice, then it's like it can ruin a childhood. I can tell you firsthand that Judy Blume is a sweetheart and fully appreciates her readers. Yay! Because she was so gracious to us. And in the middle of a pandemic, or the beginning of one, that she saw coming and knew and took it seriously, she still found a way to talk to this group of grown women who were tears and giddiness, acting like we were schoolgirls. So, Judy Blume's Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. I would love for you to go to the blog, or it's you only. Are you there, God? It's me, Melissa. No, you only have yourself to blame, and I would love for you in the comments to tell us why you love Judy Blume, what Judy Blume other books that you read that you might have liked, or as a young child, whether you're a man or a woman, what book influenced you and what author helped you feel better about yourself through some challenging times. Would really appreciate it. Until then, we'll talk next time, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.